Today, I'm attempting to recreate viral AI slime trends. Hit subscribe and let's get started. Okay, so the first one I'm starting off with is this viral AI lava slime, and it basically looks like someone is playing with molten lava. The first thing I'm gonna do is make the base of it, and I'm gonna use some clear slime for that and dye it with some orange dye and some red dye. I wanted this to kind of have a dark orange color rather than like a neon one, and with what I'm gonna do to this slime, it does actually need to be quite a dark color. So I know it does look like I added way too much dye, but I am just trusting the process on this. In fact, once it was all fully mixed in, I feel like this really was the perfect color. It was kind of red, but when you stretched it, you could see that it was orange. And honestly, I could already tell that it was starting to look like lava already. I could leave it like this, but of course I want to try and make it look more interesting. So I'm going to go in with some of these red fishbowl beads. To be honest, I just feel like these will give it a nice texture. And I'm also going to go in with some of these black waffle things, which kind of makes it look like Minecraft lava. I mean, not exactly, but it kind of just makes it look like there are pixels in it. I mixed it up so everything was combined. I feel like I added the perfect amount of these because they didn't overcrowd the slime at all. And I also didn't really want to mix it too much because I didn't want to put too much air into it. The last thing I'm going to add into this is just a tiny bit of red glitter just to give it a little bit of a shimmer. I want it to look shiny but not overly glittery, so that's why I'm kind of adding just a pinch. Once I was happy with this, it's time to move on to the next part of the slime, which is the rock part. For this, I'm going to make a cloud slime, so I went in with some glue and then some of this black acrylic paint. I really feel like acrylic paint is the best way to get this color, and any other food dyes or anything like that kind of just makes it gray, and definitely not as strong as this. I added just a tiny little bit of glycerin before I mixed that all together and then began to activate it. I'm actually trying to be really careful that I don't overactivate this because cloud slime is so much easier to make if the base slime you're using is actually really sticky. This actually came together really quickly and it was the perfect consistency of activated but not too tough. So of course it was now time to add our instant snow into this along with some water to activate the snow. As I said earlier, just look how quickly this comes together when the slime is sticky. And mixing this slime together honestly kind of reminded me of like a lump of charcoal. So I feel like we're in the right direction. I actually kind of like the white specks of instant snow in this too. I don't know why, it just feels like it kind of adds to the rocky effect of it. But either way, I feel like this was looking perfect and it was time to move on to the next part. I'm going to use this glass dish for the slime, but before I put the slime into it, we have our next ingredient. I mean, I say ingredient, but this doesn't really count as a slime ingredient to me, maybe more like an add-on. And they're basically like these little LED balls that I'm going to put in the base of the container to then put the slime on top to make it look like it's glowing. I was honestly very skeptical as if this would work, whether the LEDs would be bright enough, or if the clear slime was going to be too bubbly, but honestly, this looked so good. I carefully placed the slime over the LEDs, but it literally looked like it was glowing like molten lava. Before I add the rocky crust to it, I needed to add something else into it. This wasn't in the plan, I just had a random urge to do this just because I thought it would look cool. And I basically just put cut up jelly cubes into the slime to kind of make it look a bit more rocky. And now I was finally finished with that slime. It was time to arrange it onto this. Now I say arrange because I basically want to make it look like the rock on top hasn't fully hardened. And I want there to be little gaps of lava where you can see it peeping through. This was looking so great as it was, but I wasn't done there. I just felt like it needed like an extra layer of crunch. So I melted some soy wax down and added a little bit of brown pigment to it. And this is going to basically make a hard shell on top of the slime. So while the wax was still melted, I gently poured it around the slime. I didn't want this to cover the entire thing. Again, I wanted the lava to peep through. And it was looking good. I just felt like I kind of dyed the wax the wrong color. So I decided to go in with this edible black spray paint and literally just went over the slime, spraying the little bits of wax. And I actually think this turned out really great. I haven't used this edible spray before, so I was intrigued to see if it would work, and I feel like it actually made it look better. I was finally finished with it now, and I honestly loved how this turned out. And I'm so excited for the ASMR this is gonna give. Not only was it so satisfying to play with, but it was actually really visually satisfying too. And although it doesn't pick up quite as bright on camera, it really did look like it was glowing. I'm also really glad I added a few other things for the texture, because the fishbowl beads and the foam chunks actually made it feel really nice. And I have to say, I was really happy with how this turned out. And I actually really want to make more lava slimes in the future, maybe like a rainbow one or something. Okay, so the next video I'm going to recreate is basically like this kind of tropical island slime. So of course, the first thing we need to do with this is make the water, and I'm going to start off with just some clear slime and dyeing it with a little bit of blue dye and just a drop of green. Honestly, this color turned out so perfect. It's a little bit less of a blue than the one in the video, but I actually prefer this a lot more. And I think the turquoise is giving more tropical, more like island vibes. Now that the water was completed, it was time to make the next big part of it, which is the sand slime. To be honest, I was kind of debating thinking making a cloud slime for this, but I wanted to make it look as realistic as possible, so I'm actually going to be adding this real sand to it. I haven't made a sand slime in so many years, so I decided to take it slow and only add a little bit of sand to start with because I didn't know how it would react or how much I should add. And it looked fine, it just wasn't really sandy enough, so of course I went in with a ton more sand. I can't lie, I was honestly a little bit concerned that I might have added a little bit too much, but I just kept mixing it, and to be honest, I feel like I can't really go wrong with this. I also feel like this sand was like the perfect kind of golden beachy color. So now that it was all mixed in, the slime was basically completed. And honestly, I need to make sand slime more because this is so satisfying to play with, and it's definitely one of the most underrated textures. It was time to start constructing this slime all together, and I'm making it in the same glass dish. This should actually be a lot simpler to put together than the lava slime, mainly because there are only 2 parts to it. I feel like it was looking good, but the shoreline looked a little bit off, so with a little bit of foaming soap, I just used that on the edges, and it actually worked so well. I felt like the ocean was looking a little bit plain, so I found these really cute glittery fish and placed them into the water part of the slime. Then I just added a ton of different ocean assorted charms onto this. There were some cute little seashells, along with these super cute starfish, which I put into the sea, and I basically just placed these around the slime, decorating it, but trying not to do too much to it. I even decided to add a little bit of this fake green moss to look like seaweed on the beach and in the sea. I feel like the water was looking good, but I got this iridescent edible spray and just sprayed it on the water to give it a bit more of a shimmer, and then finally topped this off with this super cute little palm tree charm. I honestly love this as much as the lava one, and I really didn't think anything could top that. I just think it's so beautiful. I'm kind of sad that I have to mix this just because it is so pretty, but at the same time I was really excited to just mix everything together, and the sand slime mixing with the ocean blue clear slime was so satisfying. It was just giving me such like tropical paradise vibes, and all of the little add-ins kind of just speckled throughout looked so cute. Okay, so the next slime I'm going to try and recreate is basically this like kind of cloud thunderstorm one. It basically kind of looks like a rainbow thunderstorm in clouds. So I feel like the obvious first step is to make some cloud slime. So I just poured some glue into a bowl with some instant snow, water, and activator, and just mixed together a really fluffy white base of cloud slime that will literally be the perfect texture to recreate this slime. To be honest, I feel like this slime out of all of the ones we've done so far might be the easiest just because it seems like it'll be really simple. And to construct it, I'm literally just going to put some clear slime in the base of the container and then just layer the cloud slime in little chunks. I tried to fluff up the cloud slime a little bit before placing it in there just so it looks as cloud-like as possible, and then used the sponge brush to add a little bit of blue dye to the edges along with a little bit of pink dye. And this honestly looked so good. I feel like it was giving like kind of cotton candy cloud vibes. And again, I feel like I've said this before, but pink and blue just go together so well. Next up, I'm going to add some gold leaf to this. I just broke up little parts and stuck it on the edges of the clouds, and it was honestly looking really good. The next thing I was going to add was some more of the LED lights I used in the lava slime, and then a different kind of LED lights, and these ones actually flash. Now looking back at this footage, I feel like maybe I should have just added like 1 or 2 of these little flashing balls, but I added like 5 of them, so this was like really flashing about. I then filled in the rest of the container with some more clear slime, and it was looking really good. It was definitely a lot more intense than I expected it to be, but I decided to just finish it off with a little bit of the iridescent spray, and this was the finished slime. I mean, it definitely doesn't look bad. Compared to the other 2, I think it's a little bit messy, but either way, these lights do just look so cool in the slime, and I feel like they were actually brighter than the white ones because even after this slime was mixed, you could still see them flashing away in the slime. I was actually really happy with how this turned out, and it was so satisfying to make, and I have never made a slime like this before that lights up like this in the dark. Well, I had so much fun making these slimes, and I actually really loved how all of them turned out. Obviously, these were inspired by AI, but I actually think mine turned out a little bit better because they're actually real. But it was so much fun bringing these slimes to life. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this in the future, make sure to hit subscribe. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.